Hey there, welcome back to the channel where we dive into the most unbelievable drama from Reddit. Real stories, real people, and twists you won't see coming. If you're into family secrets, betrayal, and moments that make you say no way that really happened, you're in the right place. Today's story is a roller coaster. A husband accidentally records a phone call on a sync device and what he hears changes everything. His mother-in-law is plotting behind his back. And worse, his own wife is in on it. What starts as a quiet suspicion turns into a full-blown conspiracy involving lies, forged documents, and a plan to steal the home he built with his bare hands. But he doesn't stay silent. He fights back with proof. Stay tuned, because this one it's personal. Let's get into it. It started with a simple tech issue. Our home Wi-Fi had been acting up for days, and I finally got sick of it. I logged into the router, changed a few settings, and updated the firmware. Problem solved. Or so I thought. The next morning, while I was sipping coffee before heading to work, I noticed something strange. My old tablet in the office was showing active call recordings. That was weird. I didn't even remember installing a call sync app on it. But curiosity got the better of me, and I tapped the most R. I knew my wife's voice immediately. Calm. Collected. Talking to her brother, Jordan. At first, it was just casual small talk. Something about their mom's medication. But then I heard my name. He has no idea, Jordan, she said. No. My heart. The account is already in my name, she continued. I paused the audio. I don't worry, Jordan said. On. Perf. IW it. The house if. I did. But. I didn't sleep that night. I just lay on the couch in my brother's guest room, staring at the ceiling with the audio playing in my mind on a loop. Every smile she gave me, every kiss goodnight. Now I had to question whether it was real or rehearsed. The next morning, I went back home before sunrise. I needed to act normal. Pretend nothing had happened. Because now it was war, and she didn't even know I'd picked up a sword. When I walked through the door, she was in the kitchen, making eggs like it was any other Saturday. Morning, babe, she said, smiling. You were up early. Where do you go? I swallowed my anger. Just couldn't sleep. Went for a drive. She nodded, completely unfazed. She even walked over and kissed my cheek. It made me sick. I sat at the table and stared at her, really stared. Her body language, her expressions, the way she asked me about my day. Everything felt calculated. Like she was reading from a script. Over the next few days, I installed a silent call recorder on the main line, synced her iCloud to a private drive, and even placed a hidden camera in the den. If she was going to keep lying, I was going to get every word of it on tape. And I did. 3 days later, she made another call, this time to her mother. It's almost done, she whispered. He still hasn't found out. I had him sign the financial update last week. He didn't even look. One more signature and the house will be legally transferable. Her mother laughed on the other end. Good. Once that's done, we can finally start getting rid of some of his junk. That place could use a redesign. Maybe something less, him. They laughed. Like I was just some stepping stone to a better life. I clenched my fist so hard, my nails left marks in my palms. She had forged one of the documents already. The financial update she mentioned, that was a folder I remembered signing without much thought. She told me it was about refinancing our loan. I never imagined she was slipping in property transfer forms disguised under legal jargon. I made copies of everything. The calls. The photos. Even the timestamps. But what haunted me wasn't just the betrayal. It was how easy it had been for her. How effortlessly she lied, morning to night, while we watched movies on the couch, while we ate dinner together, while she slept in my arms. I knew I couldn't wait much longer. So I planned a trap. The following weekend, I told her I was heading out of town for a business retreat 2 nights, full schedule. In truth, I stayed at a motel 15 minutes away and kept my phone connected to the home security feed. By midnight that Saturday, my gamble paid off. She invited her brother over. They went straight to the study and pulled out the document safe. I watched them sort through the papers like scavengers, looking for the original deed, unaware they were on camera. "We're so close," she said. "I just need him to sign this amendment. I'll tell him it's for insurance again." "You think he'll buy it?" "He always does. He trusts me. That's what makes this so easy." I didn't sleep a minute that night. And the next morning, I drove home, walked through the front door, and acted like I'd just gotten back from the retreat. She greeted me like nothing happened. Like she hadn't just tried to erase me from my own life. And that's when I realized, she would never confess on her own. So I'd have to force the truth out of her. I spent the entire drive back from my retreat rehearsing what I'd say when I caught them red-handed. But even with the evidence on camera, part of me worried, what if she gaslit me again? What if she twisted it all into some absurd justification and I looked like the villain? I parked in the driveway and braced myself. Inside, everything was quiet, too quiet. I slipped off my shoes, quietly crept toward the study door, and peeked through the crack. There they were, Emily and Jordan hunched over the safe. She held a pen, his phone in the other hand, ready to snap photos of her signature. "Just sign here, Em," Jordan whispered. "I'll send this straight to the notary. Then it's done." Her hand shook for a second before she pressed the pen to paper. I felt bile rise in my throat as she scrawled her name. I burst through the door. The camera on the desk blinked red. They both jumped, papers flying. "What the hell, Mark?" Emily cried. "Get out of here." "You were signing away my house," I said, voice cold. "Explain this." Jordan stood up, angry, waving his phone in my face. "You have no proof we're forging anything," he yelled. I hit play on my phone. The recording from Linda's call played through the speaker on the desk. "It's almost done. He still hasn't found out." Jordan paled. Emily's face went white. The fraud documents sat between us like weapons. "You were going to steal my home," I said. "And you thought you could keep lying forever." Emily's eyes filled with tears. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I never wanted to hurt you." "But you did," I said, stepping closer. "And now you've hurt yourself, too." Jordan pushed past me toward the door. "You'll regret this." He didn't make it 5 steps before I grabbed his arm and pulled the phone from his hand. "This is going to the police," I told him. "And you're going to be a part of it." He stormed out. I heard the front door slam. Emily sank into the chair. "Mark, please," she sobbed. "I can fix this. I'll get your house back." "Not without dealing with your mother first," I said. "I want Linda nowhere near us again." Ever. She nodded, wiping her cheeks. I'll call her. I'll end it. Good, I said. And then we'll call the police together. She flinched at that. Do you trust me enough to do it? I asked. She hesitated, then nodded again, firmer this time. I do, she said. I swear I never wanted this. I reached across the desk and placed a hand over hers. Then let us finish this together. We sat there in the heavy silence, the fraudulent documents spread out like a confession. For the first time in days, I felt something shift, something like hope. But I also knew the real battle was just beginning. Linda wouldn't go quietly. And neither would her army of enablers. I powered down the hidden camera, pocketed the memory card, and backed out of the study. Emily followed without a word. We didn't speak on the way downstairs. In the kitchen, she picked up her phone. I watched her thumb the contacts until Mom popped up on the screen. Her hand trembled. Just say it, I coached softly. Tell her it's over. She took a deep breath, hit call, and put the phone to her ear. I turned away, giving her the privacy to finish the breakup with her mother once and for all. I stood by the window, staring out until I heard Emily's quiet voice on the other end, Mom, it's over. Don't contact us again. Her voice cracked. I didn't need to hear Linda's response to know it was done. When Emily hung up, she found me by the window. Her eyes were red but determined. I did it, she said. She yelled, but I hung up. You were strong, I told her. Now let us call the police. She nodded. Together, we picked up the phone and dialed 911. As we waited for the call to connect, I looked at my wife, the woman who almost betrayed me, and saw someone I still wanted to fight for. The real fight was just beginning, but I knew one thing, we were no longer enemies. Now, we were partners against a common threat. The police came within 20 minutes. I handed them the recordings, the forged documents, and the hidden camera footage. Emily sat beside me the entire time, her face pale, her hands trembling. She didn't try to lie. She didn't try to protect her brother or her mother anymore. She just sat there and told them the truth. I had expected to feel relief, like a weight off my chest, but all I felt was exhaustion. The detective took the memory card, made a copy of the paperwork, and promised to contact me once the investigation moved forward. They asked if I wanted to press charges. I did. Jordan had crossed every line. And Linda, she was the architect of it all, whispering poison into my wife's ear from day one. After the police left, Emily and I sat at the kitchen table in silence. The house was still, but inside me, everything was shaking. You don't have to forgive me, she said quietly. I don't even forgive myself. I stared at the wood grain of the table, remembering how we used to sit here laughing, eating dinner, holding hands. All of it felt fake now. You let them turn you into something I didn't recognize, I said. But you turned back before it was too late. That matters. She reached across the table and took my hand. I didn't pull away. Not yet. Over the next few weeks, things moved quickly. Jordan was arrested first. The forged documents, the phone records, and the video evidence left no room for him to wiggle out. Linda, on the other hand, was harder to pin down. She was slick, never signed anything herself, always worked through Emily or Jordan. But then came the texts. I hadn't thought to check Emily's messages until the detective asked for full records. That's when we found them, Dozens of texts from Linda coaching Emily step by step on how to manipulate me, how to present the paperwork, how to play the victim if I ever got suspicious. That sealed it? They brought her in for conspiracy to commit fraud. She showed up to court with pearl earrings, crocodile tears, and the same smug smile she wore at our wedding when she toasted to love and power. But this time, it didn't work. The judge saw right through her. Emily testified. It broke her. I watched as she told a room full of strangers how her mother had brainwashed her into thinking I was the obstacle, not the victim. How she watched her own marriage rot under the weight of her mother's influence. How she felt powerless, until she wasn't. She cried. I did too. Linda got 3 years probation, community service, and a permanent restraining order. Jordan got time. Emily walked free but not untouched. After the trial, we went home together. The house was quiet again, but not in a comforting way. Just empty. What now? She asked one night as we sat on the porch. Do we try again or do we walk away? I didn't answer right away. I just looked at the sky. We both lost so much, but maybe, just maybe, we gained something to truth. We rebuild, I finally said. From scratch. But only if it's real this time. She nodded slowly. It will be. No more lies. Months passed. We went to therapy. We tore the house apart, not literally, but emotionally. Every room that held a memory soaked in manipulation, we repainted. We changed the furniture. We made it ours again. It wasn't easy. Trust takes time to rebuild. But the difference was, this time she fought for it. Every day. A year later, on our anniversary, she handed me a small velvet box. Inside was a new house key, this time engraved with both our initials. This time, we own it together, she said. And for the first time in a long time, I smiled without doubt. The woman who betrayed me had become the woman who stood beside me. Not because she had to, but because she chose to. And maybe that's what real forgiveness is. Not forgetting, but choosing to believe in the person who decided not to repeat their worst mistake.